Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. WWE is incredibly successful at the moment, and Raw has its biggest audience in years now that it is streamed on Netflix. The company has entered a 10-year agreement with the streaming platform, and this has led to the product gaining more fans all over the world. However, there are still several stars on the roster who deserve to be booked better. The Gain has done well as Chief Content Officer for the most part, but some stars have been underutilized in 2025 so far. Karrion Kross was not booked for a match at WWE WrestleMania 41, but did make an appearance at the Show of Shows to try and help AJ Styles defeat Logan Paul. Kross wanted Styles to use brass knuckles in the match, but the Phenomenal One refused, and the decision cost him. Logan Paul picked up the pinfall victory over AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and Kross went on a rant following the match. Kross noted that the fans were responding to him, but he was given nothing on the grandest stage of them all. The former NXT champion has developed a connection with wrestling fans, but Triple H and the creative team have not provided him with a compelling storyline in recent months. A Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller captured the WWE Tag Team Championship last year at WrestleMania XL. They lost the titles to #DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in July 2024 and have been struggling as a tag team ever since. Grayson Waller talked his way out of a match against Sheamus this past Friday night on Raw and suggested that Austin Theory take his place. The Celtic Warrior defeated Theory in the match as Waller watched on from the ringside area. Theory's biggest victory of his career came at WrestleMania 39 when he defeated John Cena to retain the United States Championship. The 27-year-old hasn't been in the conversation for a singles title for a while, and Triple A's plans for him have not resulted in increased popularity. Gunther captured the World Heavyweight Championship from Damian Priest at WWE SummerSlam last year after Finn Balor interfered in the match. The Ring General had an impressive title reign, but was dethroned by Jey Uso at WrestleMania 41. Jey Uso won the match via submission, and Gunther did not handle the loss well. He unleashed a heinous attack on Pat McAfee and Michael Cole last month on WWE Raw, resulting in an indefinite suspension. The former champion was reinstated to battle Pat McAfee in a singles match at Backlash last night. It was not an impressive victory for Gunther at the PLE, as it took him much longer than anticipated to defeat the former NFL punter. The mystique surrounding Gunther is not as prominent as it was last year, and he does not come off as unbeatable anymore. Zoe Stark used to be the protege of Trish Stratus, but she betrayed the Hall of Famer at WWE Payback 2023. She became a member of the Pure Fusion Collective faction last year, but both of her stablemates are no longer with the company. The company decided not to renew Sonya Deville's contract earlier this year, and Shayna Baszler was released on May 2. Stark seemingly doesn't have a direction anymore and hasn't competed in a match on Raw since January 20. The veteran has mainly been performing on WWE Main Event in recent months. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria won a gauntlet match last month to become the #1 contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championships. The duo was scheduled to challenge for the titles at WrestleMania 41, but Bayley was attacked ahead of the match. Becky Lynch took the role model's place at the Showcase of the Immortals and captured the Women's Tag Team Championships alongside Lyra Valkyria. However, they lost the titles back to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez the following night on WWE Raw, and Lynch turned heel following the match. The man admitted she was responsible for the attack on Bayley, but the 35-year-old has not returned for revenge yet. Bayley has established a loyal fan base over the years, and Triple H has dropped the ball with her creatively this year so far. Robert Lentini started writing for Sportskeeda in 2022. He worked at SES Scoops for 6 years covering WWE and AEW live results. He is a freelance writer from Boston, MA. As we progress into 2025, the landscape of WWE is evolving. With Triple H taking the reins as the head of creative, fans were excited about the prospect of seeing new, bold storylines, pushing fresh talent to the forefront, and creating compelling television. However, while there have been numerous success stories, there have also been some missed opportunities. As the head of creative, Triple H is ultimately responsible for who gets over, who gets under, and who gets lost in the shuffle. Here are 5 WWE Raw stars Triple H has dropped the ball with in 2025. Damian Priest, a former Money in the Bank winner and a member of the Judgment Day, had one of the most promising starts in WWE. His rise as a heel within the faction felt organic, and his impressive in-ring skills paired with his larger-than-life persona made him a fan favorite. However, by 2025, Priest's momentum has stalled considerably. After the disbandment of the Judgment Day in late 2024, Triple H had a clear opportunity to elevate Priest to the main event scene. Instead, he found himself bouncing between mid-card feuds that lacked the substance needed to truly solidify his position as a top player. His title opportunities have been few and far between, and while he's been involved in some notable rivalries, he has rarely been positioned as a true main eventer on Raw. Triple H has a history of pushing talent from the ground up, as seen with the likes of Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, but Priest has not been able to catch the same wave of momentum. Perhaps his time in the Judgment Day tethered him too closely to the group, and without its support, he has struggled to carve out his own identity. If Triple H truly sees Priest as a main event player, he needs to put him in a high-stakes program that elevates him, rather than keeping him stuck in the mid-card vortex. Rhea Ripley is undoubtedly one of the most dominant and versatile women's wrestlers in WWE, and she has earned every accolade she's received. But much like her stablemate Damian Priest, her position in WWE in 2025 is one that has not lived up to her potential. Triple H, known for his appreciation of hard-hitting female talent, has yet to give Ripley the storyline or opportunities that would elevate her to an even higher level. Despite being the women's world champion for a substantial amount of time, Ripley's reign in 2025 has been marked by a lack of substantial challenges or heated rivalries. The women's division on Raw, though filled with talent, has struggled with consistent storytelling and compelling narratives. Ripley's matches, while hard-hitting and impressive, feel disconnected from the major storylines. Ripley could be the cornerstone of the women's division, but Triple H has failed to create the rivalries that would make her reign feel as important as it should be. Her championship reign is now at risk of feeling stagnant, and with an array of younger talent coming up, it's clear that Ripley's character could use a fresh storyline to help her break free from the mid-card status that has been attached to her in recent months. Chad Gable has quietly become one of the most underrated wrestlers on the roster. His in-ring skills, particularly in technical wrestling, are top-notch, and his charisma as an underdog has gained him a strong fan base. However, 2025 has not been kind to Gable. Despite his obvious talent, he has been relegated to a mid-card position with little to no story development or direction. In previous years, Gable was showcased as part of the Alpha Academy tag team with Otis, but since the team split, Gable's singles career has lacked the spark it needs to rise above the noise. His character has not evolved, and he has mostly been stuck in one-off matches that don't progress his career in a meaningful way. This is especially frustrating because Gable has the potential to put on some of the best technical matches in the company, but Triple H has failed to find the right narrative to push him to the next level. At this point in 2025, Gable is still treated like an afterthought. With the rise of several young stars, Gable could have been used as a mentor figure or positioned in a high-profile feud, but Triple H has missed the opportunity to elevate him. Gable could easily slot into the upper mid-card, but for some reason he's been left to flounder. Brock Lesnar is a special attraction for WWE, a superstar whose presence alone makes any show feel more significant. However, by 2025, the Brock Lesnar we're seeing on WWE Raw is not the same monster he once was. While his character continues to be protected as a top-level star, Triple H has done little to innovate his character or make his appearances feel as impactful as they used to. Lesnar's 2025 booking has been uninspired. He has largely been used as a part-time attraction with very little rhyme or reason to his involvement in storylines. In previous years, Lesnar's feuds were treated as major events, whether it was his rivalry with Roman Reigns or his sporadic title runs. In 2025, however, his matches feel like filler rather than marquee bouts. His most recent program with Bobby Lashley was underwhelming and left fans craving more from the Beast incarnate. The issue is not with Lesnar himself, it's the lack of compelling stories that make his appearances feel special. Triple H, with his vast experience and understanding of long-term storytelling, has not found a way to make Lesnar feel like a dominant force that has earned his place at the top. In many ways, it feels like Brock is simply another cog in the machine instead of the titan he once was. Aaliyah is one of the most promising young talents in WWE, with a fantastic mix of athleticism, charisma, and determination. However, despite being signed for years, Aaliyah's rise to prominence has been painfully slow under Triple H's creative direction in 2025. She has been relegated to meaningless backstage segments and a few random tag team appearances, yet her potential has been largely untapped. The women's division on Raw has its stars, but it lacks new, fresh faces. Triple H has shown the ability to push women like Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and Rhea Ripley, but Aaliyah's role has been that of a background player rather than a future centerpiece of the division. In a time when the company is clearly pushing for younger talent to shine, it's baffling why someone like Aaliyah hasn't been thrust into more prominent positions. If Triple H had taken the time to build her up with a solid character and a compelling storyline, Aaliyah could have been one of the breakout stars of 2025. Instead, she has been left to float aimlessly in the mid-card, waiting for a push that may never come. Triple H has undoubtedly done some incredible work as the head of creative for WWE, but in 2025, several stars on Raw have been left to stagnate. Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Chad Gable, Brock Lesnar, and Aaliyah all have tremendous potential, but it's clear that Triple H has dropped the ball in elevating them to the levels of stardom they deserve. Whether it's a lack of direction, missed storylines, or simply a failure to push these stars when the opportunity arises, WWE's creative direction in 2025 has not fully capitalized on some of its most talented wrestlers. For Triple H to remain the creative mastermind WWE fans believe him to be, he'll need to refocus on these stars and give them the stories, pushes, and matches they deserve. If he fails to do so, he risks losing out on creating the next generation of WWE legends.